Okay, so for this new instructional painting, we're going to be doing and focusing mainly on vegetation, trees, and all kinds of different leaves and shapes. So almost all of this is vegetation. So if you look closely, you'll see we'll have to do the background first, and then the layers come over on top. So we'll start by filling in a little orange sky, and then there's mountains that are bluish here. Mountains always get bluer and lighter as they are far away, and these are pretty far away. You barely can see them. And then we have a little introduction of a very light gray and with some blue also, and that's in the getting a little bit closer. And then we have various trees. So we will be doing these dark trees that stay in the background, and this lighter tree stays in the front. So the dark helps to pop this lighter one out. And so that is repeated over and over. The dark, more or less, but not always. Here, there's a lighter green tree back there, and now we have a fresh, close one that's fairly dark with some intermingling of lighter. And these are very sort of semi-transparent green. You'll see me mixing it. They're very lightly done, and so we're going to have a lot of intermingling of various colors coming through here. So I think I'm done talking. Let's get going. All right. Okay, so these paints have been in here since we started this series. This painting we're going to be doing now about vegetation is the third in the series. So they've been in here like 3 weeks already. I spritz them during the painting, and just before I put the cover back on, I give it another spritz, and then I put the cover on. So now I'm going to be adding some more of this clear gel, because I'll be definitely needing semi-transparent colors. So I'm going to just drop it right over here, a fair amount of clear gel. Okay, it's more ideal having a gel, because if you water down the acrylic paints way too much, they lose their ability to stick to the canvas. So let's begin. We're going to be doing some pink and blue very, very lightly. We got to do a little pink, but mainly there's a lot of white in that pink. So do I bring the pink over to the white of the canvas, or do I bring the white over to the pink? Either way. How's that?
Whatever floats your boat.
Or you can do it whatever way you want. Maybe you have some other idea. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, since the white is pretty close to that, why don't I bring some white, semi-transparent. I don't use a lot. I just, take enough, and then we go over here and we grab some of that orange color. So with the yellow and the white, we're making, it looks like, a pretty good pink here. Well, I don't want to call it pink. I'll call it a very light. Let's see if it, let's bring it up and see what we got here. Ah, well, that doesn't look so bad. first try. You see, it's light, and then we're going to make it a little stronger as we go down. If that's okay with you, you know. You just let me know. See, you're the boss of your canvas. I'm not. You can do whatever you want. But what I'm doing now is just putting some paint on the canvas, and in a very liberal way, I'm going to follow this reference. But as you know, if you've heard any of my other two demonstrations, that I don't follow it all the way. I just use it as a reference. Okay, I'm going to do some more. So a little more of that orange. Because look at that, we're making it stronger now. My God, it's magical. So we're going to try to complete this area. So I might spend a little time on it. The reason is we don't want to have to go back there. So I'm just gonna put almost all clear, but it gives it a coating. And yeah, I think that's covered now. It goes down a little more, and it's stronger. Ah, look at that. And see, I pull the brush across because I want to have these kind of streaky lines, because that looks like clouds. And the lighter you pull the brush across, the easier it is to have those streaks. Yeah, it has some of them up there. Now, let me see here. I'm moving on a little vertical. I'm just playing with it. I'm going to just take the brush a little bit this way, and very lightly. If you push too much, you'll show a brush mark. I'm trying not to show the brush mark unless I want to show a certain brush mark, but right now I want to have a very quiet little sky. I see a little bit of yellow. I'm going to just try a little bit of yellow, if I may. Warming it up a little bit. And if I like it and it's not quite the same, do I care? If I move it around, I'll thin it out a little bit. Sometimes when you put it right on, it's pretty strong, but just don't worry. You can do what I'm doing. I'm spreading it out. And so we have a couple different colors coming in here. Let's do a little more transition right here. I just put in a little more pink. All right, I'm gonna call that okay. Okay, so now I just want to get a little stronger, but not that strong. So what do? I rectify that by looking at just covering right up and spreading it out. Spreading it out. And once I like the way it looks, that's fine. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to take the pink off the brush, even though I still have paint on there. I hate to lose paint or wash it into the bowl, but I have to because now I want to start blues. Well, let's put a little stronger here because we want to get that coming through. Okay, so I use the side. I use every part of the brush when I apply paint. This might be it right there. I'll take a little more blue, just and maybe a tiny bit of gray, but a lot of white. And it's a guesswork when you're trying to find color, but let's see. So remember that I can take some clear and I can really if it's too strong. That's working fine. Experiment. Again, very light touch. I sort of do want it a little stronger than that, just because I like to show a little bit of the mountain range. So we have a little peak here. Let's push this up. I just used the edge of the thing there. That's pretty good. All right. Yeah, I like it. If I don't like it, even when it dries, I can certainly brush a lighter color over it. But for now, that's okay. And let's just bring it down here. I don't mind even other colors. A little bit of the orange got into it. But you know, that's okay. That could be a reflection of the sky on the mountain. I like intermingling of colors. There's quite a lot of orange right there. But these trees are going to just almost cover it completely. All right, what's the next step? There's gray. And the gray comes down, let's see, comes right in here. I need a very light gray and And I'm using also that clear gel. And more white. Let's see what we got here. Coming down. Of course, a lot of these are going to be covered with this is just background stuff, that's all. And if you don't like some of the background you laid in, later on we're doing several layers, so you can change it. Right now, I'm just poking around here. I do want to have some interest. I'm painting this area even though most of it will not be seen because of all the shrubs. That's dappling it right there. All I did was a little darker gray and all right. So now I want to show some lighter gray. That means more white. Like there's an angle coming right here, a couple of them slashes like. So let's do a slash right here. Not too much because we're just getting some texture. But remember, we don't have a second chance on this because it's background material. We want to just leave it alone. I sort of even like how light it becomes right here. It shows the mountain. But if I don't like it, I can always darken it later. You know, this my attempt is to really sort of finish this right now. I have a lot of nice white here. Poke it on here. It's not going to be the same as that, but it's going to have texture because I'm trying to finish this. All right, I'm going to go a little darker now. Don't worry, it's not going to be this dark. Because now I'm going to wipe the brush off and then I'm going to play with this. And I'll wipe the brush off again. And I just want to push it around. And it sort of swoops down. Let's have it swooping. Very delicately, we're doing this. Yeah, it shows different things. When it dries, we can certainly take a small brush later and do a little more detail with my very tiny brush. But for now, I think we're okay. So, as I look at this painting from afar, I see that the orange comes down a lot further here. this isn't bad, but it's still, there's more orange. Now, my question is, do I care? You know, I don't really care, because I'm going to put a lot of trees here anyway, and this will bring it up. The trees are going to bring it right up to here. We're just going to see a little bit of this peaking, and there's more trees coming up. So I'm going to leave this alone, and if it bothers me later that there's an awful lot of orange coming down or too much, I can adjust. That's the beautiful thing about acrylics. I can, in 5 minutes, I can totally move this mountain up here. Yeah, move the whole mountain up there. So we're just going to dab a little bit. Use the edge. Okay. All right, that's fine. That's enough. Don't fuss, because it's just the first layer. All right, now, this is probably a more or less dry. Yeah, feels dry. 15 minutes or so. So I really can start the next phase. My goal on the first layer is to cover all the canvas and more or less imply what is to come. So the next stage would be, this is a dark tree, that's back there. These are back there also, they're darkish. And there's some of these. So that I can do all that. And I can also do some of this because there's nothing, this is laying right on top. So you'll see, if my words aren't clear enough, you'll see by the paint that there's a certain procedure I attempt to follow. All right, let's do this. So what does this look like? It looks like a dark green, sort of an olive green. Yep, that could work, but I need to put a little black into it. All right, so let's see. Now, I paint by just dabbing mostly. So this one covers more or less up to the top of the blue mountain. All right, let's see what we got here. And then as we go down, and that comes down, this is more or less the middle of the canvas. Pretty close. So remember, this is just the first. Sometimes the first looks pretty good, but I'll probably add more colors to that. I want to, there's a darker one here and there's a little lighter there, so I'm just putting the dark in. And we're coming down into the bushes. I'll go more than I need to go because it's going to be covered anyway. So that is one. just using the edge to touch it. Sometimes I notice when I'm touching it carefully, I hold my breath. So I gotta suck in some air again, Bill. So we have a little more of these darker ones. Let's put it here. I think I found a fairly good color. This is a darker green, and then I have a lighter green. I just throw a little bit in, and then here's black, right? Conveniently next door. It's a neighbor, so we want to invite the neighbor over to join the puddle. And then,
Puddle.
yeah, so look at this area right here. Definitely. I'm going to sort of dab it down a little bit like this. And then come down here and then really put it on quite a lot. Let me lift this up so that it's on these little nubs so I can get right to the bottom. Even when I dab it on, I don't want to make it flat. I want to have it looking a little bit uneven. Okay, so all right. This is good. And we have a lot more all along the bottom here. So I'm going to just do a dark color. You see, I can go both ways across here. And then this is the effect you get. You get complexity. I want complexity. I want mingling. So I'm just giving a little instruction here how the future can be. We're going to be doing all kinds of different colors here. And so here there's a little dark right around there. And then we go pretty much dark all over here. Let me go back and get some more green. Okay. Cover that canvas. I always try to get the edges. All right. So we're going to accomplish quite a lot in this first layer because we can. I'm going to just keep doing it. So we're just going across here. I'm filling it in. I'm going to go a little darker because we're working from mostly dark to light. But we're going to put some dark splotches in, darker than... I'm just sort of filling the canvas up here. Okay, so up here, I'm going to go up just about this far. Okay, now I'm moving up. I'll keep it dark because we need to lay this on top of the dark. So you see a little dark breaking through. So I'm going to keep it fairly dark. And notice I want to squiggle the brush around. I don't want to be laying it on flat. I want to have a intermingling darks, and even at this stage, even though most of this will be covered, I still want to have the feeling of dabbing. I'm dabbing, dabbing, and dabbing. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of green. Why? Because I want to. Now, that's not the real color of the green. What is the color of green? It sort of has a bit of I think I'm going to guess a little bit of brown in the green. Let's see if I'm right. Tone it down a little bit so it's not so bright, because we're going to have some more interesting colors. Already some of this is looking pretty cool. Let's cover that up. All right, let's do a little bit of. Now we have a light coming up here. Notice I'm not really finishing anything. This is the first layer. Give me a break here. I don't want to get too fussy here. I'm just poking around here, finding my way, suggesting various shades here. And now there's some dark over there. All right, I'll go there and do a little bit just like they're doing. Bang, 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 bang. More dark. As I go up, I turn the brush to the edge, because I can get more delicate strokes that way. All right, so now what's happening? So this is vegetation. Now I'm going to try to go for this lighter green. And maybe I'll put a little bit of white. I'm just experimenting. Let's see what we got here. I'm making this puddle. There's some transparent. The only way I know is if I stick it on. Oh, it looks pretty interesting. You see how that the dark behind it makes it pop out. Now, this tree here is fairly light. Why don't I even go lighter? I just grab clear. We can always darken it up. Now, to really do all this well, I will be taking a shorter, a smaller, very much smaller brush. And we're doing the first layer. We're just laying in what's gonna come. Does that make sense here? All right, I'm just gonna lay in See, this is very, even more so, this is very transparent. I'm just showing the way. That's all. That's all I'm doing is showing the way. Not even in detail, but I see this comes out a little more. I'm just dabbing with the edge of the brush. This is just the first layer. It's not allowed to be finished too much. I'm starting to run out of paint, which means the dabs are lighter, and I like that. So this has a bit of a reverse cone to it. Okay. And we're going down and down. See, on the next attempt here, if I think it's too dark, or if I like to change the color and make it even more lighter, and I can change the color. All I'm doing now is setting up patterns and positions of different trees. Okay, you see what I did? All right, we did it lighter. How about even lighter? Okay, you want light? You want it lighter? You got it. I'll do it. So we're just showing what we're going to be doing. Okay? This is, I'm going to ask Natalie to tell me when I should end this first layer of paint.
I feel like you're almost there.
Okay. So we have light color here. Lighter, Bill. You want light? Yes. Oh, okay. And we intersperse some dark too, correct? I don't even change or wipe off the old lighter color. I just stick some black right on there. And then I can use some of the light and mix it all in. And I'm tapping. I just tapped the painting right off this little stand here. I'm keeping it loose. Using the edge, rolling the brush every which way. And this guy, we got that right here. Boom. We got this guy coming down right like that. Boom. Right. We got some more things happening. All right, and this gets darker and it gets whiter, but not now. That's enough. Okay.
Cut.
Okay, so we're ended the first layer of the focus on foliage this time. And we're going to have a lot of fun finishing this up and really knocking out a lot of interplay of the foliage. Thanks a lot.